Recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. And Barsha was doing Barsha things last night.
He was hanging around.
Barsha always does Barsha things, man.
So make sure to check them out if you're in the Southwest Michigan area. You need some exterior modifications to your house. Josh and Kayla, great moto people. All right, let's jump into this here. Let me get on the correct screen. Crap. Safari. Boom.
Well, I think we know who won the race there, Travis.
Look, I'm pulling it up for the other results, okay? Eli Tomac gets her done. That was beast mode.
Was this the best he's looked since 2017?
100 since 2017? I don't know about that.
I think still to this day, that was the fastest I've ever seen.
Since 2023?
You think?
No, I think 2017 is the best. I know he didn't win the championship, but I think that was the best Eli's ever looked in Supercross.
That is a bold claim.
I think I've definitely seen him have some better rides in Supercross for sure. But this one, it's just different, right? Because he's had his issues over the last couple of years. He's now the old guy, 32 years old. I don't think anybody through 32 years old has won in that fashion.
No.
Man, it was a perfect recipe. You had the two best guys together right off the start and came through the pack together.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, had Chase not gone down, all three guys would have came through the pack together because Chase was the third guy in line.
Yeah.
Man, it was just super cool, man. I bet the stadium was electric.
They said it was.
Bro, I think every time Eli wins, or even puts it on top of the board, the fans are going to go nuts.
Yeah.
I think it's just because people realize that, because last year was uncertain. I think people are now realizing that no matter what, this is probably the last time you're ever going to see. And it's very rare. Actually, I mean, it never happens. You never see a guy this late into his career that you know is going to retire, be in a title hunt. Because, RV, obviously, when he retired in 2014, or after that, let's be real, the GP, he was retired. Nobody really knew he was going to retire in 2014. Yeah. They didn't realize that Supercross title was that was the last time we were ever going to see RV beat RV.
Yeah, it definitely answered a lot of questions for Eli last night. One question I had was fitness. Where's that at?
Oh, dude.
He went hard the whole way.
I was thinking the same thing as Eric. In my mind, I was I wasn't, because Jet, they were marking each other, and then Jet was yo-yo in the gap. That never crossed my mind. I'm oh, Jet's not closing it, because Eli, as soon as Jet would turn it up, Eli would find a little 10th here, 10th there. It was totally same thing as Eric. I was well, we're really going to find out. Me talking about 15 minutes last year, I'm well, we're going to find out if he's got more than 15 minutes. And then when he just kept it at 1.4, 1.5, I'm well, nope, he answered that question.
Yeah. I'm glad our boy Kev pointed him to the left, man, because if he would have kept going outside in the sand, I really think it would have been a different story.
Yeah, that line could have been. That line worked when people were bunched up and you just had a clear line all the way through. But I think it was very apparent, even as early as the 250 main, that inside just kind of bouncing to that roller, going to the outside, and then doubling out of the corner it was much more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where Jet was making up a little bit of time. There and the inside after the quad.
Yep.
Those were Jet's two passing opportunities, I believe, in my eyes. And he shut down the sand, shut that opportunity down, and Eli was just hammering the whoops. So there's no way he was going to go by him in the whoops.
And that was the most consistent I think I've seen Eli in a long time, because we've all seen Eli in the past, even when he's won races, when he's been in a battle or trying to gap away from somebody where he can just run his own pace, where he's bombed 90% of the main, and then the next 10% he'll make that one stupid mistake where he's just trying to push it too much, and you're dude, if you just switched up a line. And then, like I said, when he started going in the inside, he started waiting the peg on the outside before the whoops, because that rut, and then realizing that line was getting so square edged, he actually was dropping into the rut. And that was just something that Eli in the past, when we talk about beast mode, but then when people make fun of Eli, Alito Mac, that people used to call him.
Shout out Denny Stevenson.
Yeah. He would do those stupid things where you're dude, you're just better than this. He didn't. And then he hit the 3-4 every lap. I don't know, man. That was very telling of where he is. And also, I think in his mind, because I don't think actually in his mind he ever really second guessed himself, but with all the noise, well, dude, you've never really beaten Jet straight up.
Yeah,
Jet he caught and passed, and he Jet dogged him the whole time, and Eli was just hold my beer, bro. I've been doing this a lot longer than you have.
Yeah, and you watched the interview.
Yeah,
great interview, by the way. If you haven't listened to the one with Eli, with Gypsy.
Oh, okay.
Sneaky funny. He's a sneaky funny guy.
That's how he is now, man.
And
man, a few words though.
He really thinks before he talks.
He does, yeah.
And I think a lot of it too. He hasn't done a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you've been a professional for 15 years. I think you.
yeah, and I can't wait to hear more. Like the bear story at the end. Like that shit was funny.
That fucking bear story had me rolling. I went home and told Ashley that. And I'm just like, so he wakes up, he's dropping fucking shells, doesn't know
He's
what the
on a
fuck's
scooter.
going on a
Like,
scooter.
Yeah. Well, that and then you destroy a bike. Are you proud of that? And he goes, I am proud of that, actually. And
You used a 450 like a tear off.
yeah, and dude, I'm going off on a little tangent, but he says a 450 is too slow.
Yeah, I saw that little caption thing.
He is.
And then he goes in like production rule, bring it on.
Which is
Or
wild
get
to
rid
say
of it,
on-
actually.
Yeah.
Which is
he is-
wild to say on the Yamaha of all things.
He is the only guy I have ever heard say, "Yep, 450 is not enough."
Well,
what
and
the
it's-
fuck is wrong
No,
with
it's
you,
like
man?
it's like the joke that fucking Amart when he talks to Germ about being at Southwick holding up Eli in the 450 class, and he's like, "Dude, all I heard was just fucking over rev the whole time."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. But where I was going with that, there's a little piece in there where they're talking about Jet in a press conference going, well, that wasn't the real beast mode or something like that.
Eli says this.
Jet said that about Eli.
last year. I can't remember
Oh,
what race it
yeah,
was.
Or something like that. And Eli was like, yeah, that pissed me off.
Yeah, I did.
Just straight up came out and said, that pissed me off. And that's the fuel to his fire. Remember I said he's got a chip on his shoulder and he
Which
wants to
was
beat that
funny
kid.
because Jet has also heard that. Whether Gypsy actually told him in person or he listened to the interview, because
think he
last
listened to
night
the
in the
interview.
press conference,
He mentioned it.
He said, hey, he kind of took something I said wrong. I just knew he wasn't at 100%.
No. Gypsy asked him a question. He said, you guys took it out of context.
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
something like
Something
that.
like
He's
that,
kind of
yeah.
trying to backpedal, cover his ass.
Whatever
but-
Eli's got to find for motivation, man. Like when you've accomplished as much as he has and this late into his career and coming off a big injury like that, like you got to find something. But I mean, dude, we keep talking about this with Jet. You know, where is he at when he finally matches someone that can run that pace for that long and someone that can even up it even further? And what's it going to do? And I mean, I think that was the first time in a while because like people will like point to Fort Worth last year, but we know there was a lot going on. That track was dog shit. Like Jet was having whatever. But like, I started thinking about it. I'm like, take out the rookie year in 2020 with Jet, so like
Yeah.
2021. And that was the first time I can even point to that Jet has actually gotten caught and passed, and him be behind someone and him not be able to match their pace, like get close enough to really like throw a front wheel in there. Because
Yeah, no.
anytime he closed on Eli,
Yeah.
Eli was like,
Yeah.
sorry, dude, I'm gonna up it. And Jet just had nothing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
we've talked about like, did he get beat straight up in Texas that
Yeah.
day? And everybody kind of had.
Everybody has different answers.
These boys started together, passed each other in the pack, and went,
Yeah.
and he got straight up beat.
He
How
did.
does that make you feel?
It's fine. I mean, there's going to be nights that's going to happen. Like a guy like Eli has that speed to go with Jet.
Yeah.
Jet's not unbeatable every single time. It's just rare. Like, and again, too, last night, I think either one of you are lying to me if there was a point when we watched him catch back up to Eli that you didn't go, oh, fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
I was
Because-
thinking of the
because
cardio.
you-
I wasn't thinking of the pace. The cardio is what worried me because it happened last year. So like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, not the pace.
That's
I
fair.
didn't think Eli wasn't going to be able to up it. I was just thinking, well, you know, we keep talking about, but he hasn't proven it yet. Can he go more than 15? So I'm thinking, man, like he's just going to burn out 15 minutes in. I didn't think that Eli wouldn't be able to up his pace, especially with how he passed Jet and then like gapped Jet
Yeah.
for that time being. I was just thinking, 15 minutes in, like we're going to find out. And then once we have to got to the 16-minute mark, I was like, dude, Eli's fucking fine.
I really thought that like the bike wasn't quite there at a point, and then when he started catching Eli again, I went, oh no, that's not the case. He's just literally like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go now. Now he did say in one of the interviews I was listening to, somebody asked him about it, and he did say that Jet did, that he got stuck in his line in the whoops and never changed, and he should have, because Eli was going down, what was the right side or
He was
something.
going out, yeah.
And he's like, that was faster, but he's like, I was just being bullheaded and stayed in my thing. So like,
Which is weird for Jet though, because that's not as something like Jet's very
No.
good about
He
like
was moving
yeah.
around a lot. in the
analyzing
whole turn.
things and like picking up on shit.
and that's, and like I said, that's what he said. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he moves. I mean, we all saw it. Yeah, he did stay in that mostly center line there
You
for
know
a
what
while.
that tells me though? That he's still not confident with that bike in the whoops. Or
I
he
don't
would've-
think he is. But I will say, I know that, like, especially you last week were doubting, like, something was wrong with the bike. But I listened to a bunch of stuff with Jason Thomas this week, and he was on the floor, and he's like, dude, I watched that front end of Jets like doing this going into the corner. He's like, that fucking bike was fucked. It was legitimately, he's like, I understand why he didn't ride well. He's like, because he's going into that corner not knowing what that front end's going to do, because it's basically shaking out of his hand, which he said was part of what happened when he crashed in the sand there. He's like, he came out of those whoops, the bars are slapping the tank basically, and he's like, oh fuck, and like crashed or whatever. So there was something screwed up. Now, I've heard, I don't know how much you guys have listened to post-race here.
A little bit.
They softened stuff up, which is something that I don't want to say I hadn't a thought about that, but with the stiffer frame, and then they were talking about a whole bunch of new suspension stuff that there's Showa, right? They're on Showa.
Wow.
They were talking about a bunch of new suspension stuff that Showa sent over. It was kind of like, okay, well, maybe it's too stiff for him. Who knows? And then they talked about it, and they were like, yeah, basically a little bit of gearing, because he said that cost him a start.
Stiff for him.
Yeah, and he actually said in an interview too that he wanted to go softer in the main, but then he was like, well, the heat went well, so let's just leave it. And then when they got done, he's like, yeah, I really wish I would have gone those like 3 clicks softer on the forks, because it probably would have helped me in the main there to get by Eli. So
Yeah, we might as well just get into Jet. I mean, any more thoughts on Eli? Before?
how many do you think he wins? Like, do you think?
I mean, dude, he rides like that. I think
he's gonna win more.
I mean, to be honest with you, like we still like with Chase, whatever, and we'll get to him because I
Yeah.
still think obviously Chase is in this. I mean, he's fucking second in the points or whatever it is. But like Eli, like right now, if he goes and does this again at A2, I mean, dude, like he.
Well, how about this? Because
It's
another
ha-
little nugget.
it's hard.
Another little nugget that I think he kind of dropped in that interview. How many wins does he have to get for that extension to kick in the contract?
What do you mean?
He kind of let it open. Like, winning's addictive. Well, you know, the contract can be extended.
Yeah,
we'll
but
just see how many wins we get.
I felt that was more of the way he phrased it and stuff. I felt like that was more of it's addictive to win. So if I win a bunch, then I'll want to keep going. But otherwise, if I'm not winning, I don't really have a drive to keep going.
I read it as it came out of his mouth as,
I don't.
hey, if I win, it's addictive and it can be extended.
I don't-
So
I
to
don't
me, I'm wondering if there's like a win number
I don't think that's the case.
and it kicks an extension in, he has the option to sign it.
If he wins multiple races this year, what team doesn't sign that legend?
Well, I'm
Or,
right.
you
I'll
know,
I'll
what
say
team
this.
doesn't make money
I
available
know.
to bring him in?
If he can continue to replicate that, which I mean, let's like we all talked about, like had he not gone down to A1, there's a real good chance that him and Chase have a gnarly battle, and who fucking knows at that point. If he can continue to ride like that, which through 2 rounds, there's no reason why he can't. I mean, dude, whatever number you want to put Jet at, Eli can do the same thing. Because what Eli did last night, I guess what I'm getting at in simplest terms is what the way Eli rode last night, he can replicate that every fucking round.
So the only thing that's really scary about this, right, is
For who? Who's a
for everybody
Okay.
else. Let's kind of move on to Jet here,
Yeah.
which we've already
Yeah,
kind of done,
let's move
right?
into
So
Jet.
the only thing that's really scary, right, and I know I'm a Jet homer or whatever.
A goo gobbler.
A1 was super fucking bad, right?
Yeah.
His worst 450 race, period. And
Yeah.
then within a week, we go from that to him basically going with Eli, who we're all looking at going, holy shit, he's fucking flying. And they don't even have that bike full-blown locked in yet, we'll call it. It's a lot better, okay? But it's not even full-blown locked in. And my understanding is this week they didn't ride motos at all. And Jet keeps saying in interviews that he's pumped to go back and actually lay down laps in Florida and like actually
Figure
get to
out
ride.
how to ride this setting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which to me seems a bit scary because I'd made comments this week on, I think it was maybe the Thirsty Thursday members one, and maybe even in like the live and the reaction show yesterday, that like all these dudes got to continue to make hay while the sun's shining here, aka while Jet is struggling. Because we all know that once that's figured out, which again, I didn't know at that point if it was going to be yesterday, qualifying looked the same. So I threw my hands up and said, I don't know. To me, qualifying looked the same as it did the week before. He was fast, second fastest on the board. Okay, let's see how the night goes. Then we get into the heat. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Then we get into the main. Obviously, we see what we see. So the fact that it was only one race, basically, here, and if next week he's, again, right back on that box / winning, it's one of those things. Like, dude, they're in trouble. Everybody else is in trouble. Eli is good. Chase is good. I'm not going to say that they will not beat him at all, but that level of being able to beat him went from this big of a gap to like this.
So
in 2 weeks, which is a fucking problem for everybody.
And I hate to agree with Travis here,
you.
but this is where I want to go with this. I think there's more in the tank.
Yeah, that was not the best Jet Lawrence.
No,
The problem, though, is the more in the tank, though, Jet has never been able to stay on two wheels. What have we talked about a million times?
But it's not more in the tank of him pushing. It's not the percentage. It's as they close the window in on that bike.
Why don't you think Eli has more in the tank, though? Why do you think Eli doesn't have more in the tank?
That's where I want to go to.
And Chase, to be honest with you, I think Chase was faster than both of them last night.
That's where I want to go with my second half to that. What I was going to follow up with is I'm playing both you guys like a fiddle right now.
That's okay. Go ahead.
So jerk you off for a second.
Can we not? Like I didn't get it yesterday, so I want it now.
Yes, I think there's a little more in there.
Who said I didn't get it yesterday? You asked today.
Whatever.
And to your point,
it's the Lord's Day.
He's going to ride that bike more. He's going to figure out the window and figure out how it works with the setting that they've found and get more time to adapt. Which, that can go up 2-3%, whatever the window is. But on the flip side, everybody gets better. Everybody's still figuring stuff out. You're telling me that Eli and Chase aren't still figuring some things out now that they're into race mode?
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, do you think Eli right now is at his best of the season?
I thought Eli looked great last night, but I'm not sure at Eli's age here how much more I
don't
think
be that
he
guy
has
that pokes the
in the
bear.
tank.
Well, listen.
Don't be that guy that pokes the bear.
Look, that was a fucking dude. Trust me, that level right there was
Did he
only
look
to
in
be.
control?
Oh yes, but it was only to be bested, in my opinion, by the guy in second.
Well, we all said that, and he raised the level against Chase in that outdoor title. That series.
Yeah.
So I think if it's in there, I think he can go up a level. I think he can. I think Eli can go.
I don't disagree with you that I think Jet can be a percent better here, percent better there. But yeah, I agree with Cole. Like, there's no reason to think that a guy like Eli and Chase can't go with him, considering we're only in the second round. We talk about Jed, this and that. Here's another thing to think about too. Like, yeah, the bike was better, but how do we really we're all assuming that they're going to get this bike figured out this season, like where Jet really, really wants it. We don't know that.
They're going to get it close.
Look, I'm a Honda guy through and through. You know this. I think you know this, but I can't guarantee you that just because like they got it better this week. What's going to happen when they go East Coast? Because now they've set up a setting for these West Coast rounds with the shit dirt.
Yeah.
We go East Coast. Now they've gone completely the other way, and they might go way too soft.
The whole offseason, they set it up for the East Coast.
But they're going back
to
Florida to ride, which is the East Coast dirt, which...
Florida's nothing like Detroit. Florida's nothing like Detroit. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. We talk about the bike all the time.
I understand. I just think so.
I think the window can still be closed. A bike is never going to be perfect.
No,
even the bike he was riding last year. You can say whatever the hell you want about it. It probably wasn't perfect.
Did you listen to that interview with Dazzy?
No.
It gave me a lot of confidence that this was A, way better than it was week one, and B, the window that they have here is. They're in their window now with this bike.
All right, so my question to you is then, okay, say it takes him a few rounds, he gets a little bit better, but Eli keeps winning. And Jed just gets second, and he just managed things till the bike gets better. We talk about, and we make the joke, whatever you want to talk about, Eric and me, or even Cole, like, oh, he's out of it, this and that. But if Eli continues to win, there's going to be a point where Jet's not going to be able to win. Like, winning, he's going to run out of time. Because if Eli continues to win and Jed just gets second, or Eli gets second, Jed gets third, Chase wins, whatever. But if Eli continues to ride like this, because I say again, that was the most in control I've seen Eli in a very long time.
But guess what?
Go ahead.
I got to throw this out there. As much as we're gargling Eli right now, there's always one weirdo what the hell Eli ride.
Yeah, where they miss the setup and stink bug it.
Even in his championship seasons, there's always been that one ride where it's like,
But I think they're all going to have that one ride. I don't think Jet's bad rides are done. I agree with that. I don't think Eli's going to. I think Chase is definitely going to do Chase things. Kenny, Coop's going to have,
the only way
I guess Coop really doesn't really have bad rides. He just doesn't get on the box.
The only way I see Chet.
Chet?
Yeah.
Chet!
The only reason.
Wow, that dude would be an animal.
Yeah, he would.
Animal.
Chase and Jet.
The only
Chet
way I
Lexton.
see Jet having another bad round is if we have a mutter.
He had multiple fucked up races last year.
If
What are
we
you talking
don't,
about?
if we don't have a mutter, then I don't see.
He had multiple bad rounds by his standard last year.
Chet
Because of
Lexton wins the
mutters.
title.
No. What happened in Seattle, bro?
Hold on, we'll find out. Last
No,
year.
I'm not talking about where he actually ended up in the finishing. Like he still had good where he made good points. I'm talking about by his standard, he still had bad rounds where he hit the ground. How many times did he crash in Seattle?
I mean, apparently not a lot because he finished third.
And what I'm talking about is to continue with the way this season goes, the way we think it's going to go. It might get to the point though that third is just not enough anymore. You're just going to have to beat the guy every time because if I'm trying to follow up on if he gets too far behind in points.
Yeah.
Third is not going to be enough. You're going to have to start reeling off wins, which circles back to my whole point of how long is it going to take them to get this bike going?
Okay, so you think after what we've seen now through 2, okay?
Because Jet
you think by round 8 he won't have a win?
No, I'm saying that if Eli continues to win and Jet doesn't get more than 1 to a certain point, then we're going to have third's not going to be enough anymore. It's going to be like a Stu 09 thing where he's going to have to rattle off win after win after win. Because, dude, he's already 10 down by Eli. Eli goes in and wins again.
How many out of the next 6 do you think Eli wins?
Fuck, he rides like that. He could win all 6 of them. Jet to me, for right now, I have not seen at any point, even with that heat win, as good as he looked last night and as better as he looked than A1, he has not looked like the fastest guy yet at all. And the lap times don't lie about that. And that's the thing is that to me, right now, to beat a guy like Eli with how locked in, even through A1 getting 5th, but the way he rode, and then the way Chase rode at the first round, and even coming back to 6th place, I think you're just going to have to go win. I think you're going to have to win every time. I think that for the first time in a long time, as crazy as this sounds, I don't think just getting points is going to win you a title anymore. I think you're just going to have to straight up be better than those dudes every fucking round. Because right now, to me, those 3, we talk about Coop and like as much as I like Coop and we talk about Coop East Coast.
Do you really not consider Jet was on the same level Eli was last night? Just Eli got the better of him?
What are you talking about? On the level of
Like
speed?
they were matching each other.
Like you don't think Jet was on the same level?
No, I think Eli was. I think Eli was a little bit better.
You're wrong on that. You're off, dude.
How?
He fucking caught him.
Eli caught him and passed him.
I understand.
Eli started in front of him, got
and then
passed,
Jet caught back up.
And then never was able close to ever make a
Nah,
pass.
you're way off, dude. Jet will win within the next 2 rounds.
All right. You said he was going to win this week.
I don't think that Eli is going to rattle off. Like, Eli's riding great. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't see Eli rattling off 6 more here. Like, there's just no way. There's too many dudes.
I didn't say he was going to win 6.
I'm just saying, out of 6, yeah, maybe he wins another 1 or 2 out of the next 6. But Jet's going to pick 1 or 2 up also. Chase will probably win another one. There's a probability that Ando fucking shows up at one of these rounds.
I don't see that.
I mean, last night, we'll get to that, but last night was definitely a Debbie Downer on that one. But you look at round 1, and then you got Coop there too. Who's the man we also are not talking about here.
I don't think those guys right now are fast enough to beat Chase, Jet, and Eli.
I think they're a little off as well.
I think it's too big of a gap.
Chase, Jet, and Eli are the guys. Look at qualifying.
I mean, yeah, I
think that there's too big of a gap.
I do agree with that, but I also don't agree that I think Eli's just going to rattle these off because I think Chet. Dude, I'm really bad at
so
this
Chase
tonight.
and Jet are going to match Eli.
Yeah,
Basically, what you're saying.
Basically, I think Chet is going to fucking match him here at least.
I might name my kid Chet.
Please don't.
And we still don't have that bike dialed in, and it's only, in my opinion, looking at the gap that they spanned from the first week to this week, because last week was fucking terrible. Absolutely
terrible. The bike will
terrible.
never be perfect.
The bike will never be perfect.
They're just going to close the window.
The amount of gap that they closed in a week, and now you're trying to tell me that they're not going to close that last 1% that he was off last night of Eli? Like, no way. There's no way.
We'll see.
That is almost like a disrespectful thing to say towards them with the career that Jet's had already in the 450 class. Eli's great. Eli didn't go 22-0 or 24-0. Like, he's great, but he's not that. And like, Jet did what Eli does in a year in his rookie season in the 450 class win-wise. Like, Eli wins 8, 9, 10 races in a year. Jet did that rookie season. So, I don't know, man. That, to me, that's like, I don't know. Like, that's just way off base, in my opinion. It's way off base
They
to be
have not yet.
like an 8-round, like, in the first half of the season. Because basically the way it works is, I mean, we talk about this all the time. Whatever he is in the first half, he has to make up in the second half, right? And for you to think that he's just going to lose to him for 8 rounds in a row like that,
I didn't say that.
just don't see that.
I didn't say he was going to. I didn't say he was going to lose to him 8 rounds. I think it's just there's more to getting that bike dialed in where he is comfortable enough to do that consistently. And this is the first time that they've had to really work on a bike through issues.
Well, he's that uncomfortable, and he freaking got second and caught back up to him last night.
Are you agreeing or denying the fact that they closed the window quite a bit?
They closed the window, but once again,
did it surprise you how much that window closed in a week?
No, because it's Jet.
Then
it's
I don't
Jet.
Understand how you can't.
It's not just Jet. Hunter looked way better as well.
Hunter to me,
and he was sick.
Hunter
he was blowing gas out of both sides.
Hunter's got bigger issues.
Yeah,
Hunter's got bigger issues.
Got other issues, but
I just think that we're I don't know.
Well,
look, last week he lost the title in the first round.
He could have. We still don't know.
This week, there's no way
we still don't know.
Beats
we
Eli.
still don't know because I never said he's not going to beat Eli. I'm just looking at it as that we're basing off the fact of that we think that bike is going to just all of a sudden get better. Guys, how many times have we seen over the years guys come in with new bikes? And sometimes, did Chase figure out the KTM last year? Tell Outdoors? Nope. Brand new bike to him.
No, but we've also had conversations
Chase
about
also closed the window last year in Outdoors and had
Outdoors he did. Supercross he didn't. Supercross he didn't. Yeah. He never closed the gap.
But we also have had conversations about how we think they do with developing bikes in that Sexton camp, and we don't think it's great. Then the Lawrences are not that. The Lawrences are good at that.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
I just want to quit disrespecting the guy that got third.
Well, hold on. Before we move on, couple more things.
No,
with Jet. No. Y'all notice he shaved, right? Got rid of the dirt stash and
stuff.
Really
pay attention to pubes and stuff.
Yeah. So this was something I noticed.
Do you think he's like a new man?
Well, he's trying to go back to old Jet, right?
Oh,
because the way he does his interviews and stuff, I literally was like, man, it's weird. You like shaved, and now you're trying to be like the fun kid again, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, whatever.
Good, bring it
it's
back,
fine.
whatever.
Yeah, bring it back because we'd rather have that than the moody
the
teenager.
The douchey Tic Tac guy is gone.
yeah. It was one of those weird things I just noticed today when I was watching stuff.
Here's what happened. He knew TikTok was getting banned, so he had to get rid of the TikTok look.
Jesus.
So next week, now that TikTok's back, we'll see if the chin's back.
We'll see. The
crimson chin.
So, all right. Yeah. Anyway, so Cooper Webb third.
We need to quit disrespecting this man because there's 17 rounds and this man's going to be there. Just saying.
So far, so good.
I mean, that first half of that main, he had the pace.
He is very open about how not fast he is.
Well, did you catch obviously you watched the press conference. Weege, his buddy, they talk. Yeah, you didn't have a great off season. You didn't really ride much. So maybe the wrist or the arm was broke.
No, he did. What the fuck was it? I feel like I had this note somewhere.
Well, they mentioned something about that where he's now coming out and saying very up and down off season and
no, actually no. You know who said it? JT said it on Pulp. Steve brought it up and then JT confirmed it. He had a big one in the off season and was off for a while, like a big one. Mm-hmm. So because they had to move the photo shoot for Fly. That's how bad it was. He could not ride the photo shoot. So yeah, so he was definitely.
This had to have been before or after Paris, though.
I don't know
because they obviously were doing the photo shoot before Paris.
Yeah, so it had to be before that. But yeah, no, he had a big one. I guess.
Then he had the whole Australian Open thing with his arm. Mm-hmm. So there's no way he didn't.
You know, kind of like Prado being hurt the whole time he's been here too.
Pretty much.
Yep. So yeah, no, I don't think he's had as killer of an off season as we all thought.
Well, guess what? Coop's championship years, no matter what, 4th, 5th round before he wins. And
this isn't this year though, right? It was last year. What's the year? 25. Is he even or odd years?
Because winning title. I think
him
he's
and Eli were back.
Odd years, I think.
Yeah, 2019 to 2021.
Yeah, I mean it's an odd year too, if you want to be weird. But man, he's just spooling up, and he's only going to get better.
Yeah, he'll get real good when we go east.
I think we can't sleep on him.
No.
Coming out of the first 2 rounds with a 4th and a 3rd, and not being confident in yourself, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till that boy gets some confidence.
Anybody got any thoughts on Eric's comment about him not being a number one rider?
I mean, he's not the number one rider on his own team.
I mean,
so.
I understand, but I'm just like, that was a bold move for a two-time champ, or
I
bold
think-
statement for
I
a
think
two-time
it's-
champ.
Well, because the guy on the Mount Rushmore is also on the team. So.
Well, that's true too.
I think it's tough though, because as much as I don't know, man. I just don't know with Coop this year. As good as he's going to be, and obviously, Cole's right. We get to East Coast, and Coop just gets even better. I just don't know if those guys catch him early, if Cooper Webb is going to be good enough to beat him. Like, he was good enough last year to win those races because he was so consistent, and which is just Coop's thing. He was in that title hunt all the way to fucked up his hand or his wrist or whatever it was, or shoulder. I don't know.
Thumb.
But,
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Some part of his
Something in
fucking
his hand.
part of his fucking arm. But I feel that unless he gets out front and he pulls a 10-second gap somehow, I just don't know if he's going to be good enough to those guys to not run him down.
How far did he make it this one? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
But then look how
we-
much he got gapped in 10 minutes after the
Yeah,
10-minute
he got
mark.
gapped pretty good.
And look, if he's still building and he pumped up whatever, that's fine. But dude, when the guys are going a second a lap faster than you, 2 seconds a lap faster, I feel like the stars are gonna have to align for him to win at this point.
Do you think Coop can elevate?
I think Coop can elevate because I definitely don't think this is the best Coop. But the problem is, we just talked about this with Jed and Eli. Like, him elevating, how close is that to even where Eli, Jet, and Chase are right now?
Chet.
I don't think
We're
it's
calling
ever
him
been.
Chet.
I don't think it's ever been on par with those guys.
I don't know,
but-
man. 20,
No.
2019,
Well, the one year-
2019, yeah, 2019 was. I
Yeah,
think it
he
was
gave
argu-
Eli everything. in a
Yeah,
couple
it
of
was.
those rounds.
You could argue that he might have been the fastest dude that year.
But I still think he's putting himself in a spot to be advantageous for one of these.
He is, but what my question is just how much is going to have to fall in place for him to get a win, though,
A lot.
and that's my problem.
Because there's
I
three
see,
dudes that are
he-
outright faster.
He usually starts his role of winning when a Triple Crown comes around.
Well,
so.
Glendale, you got it in a week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
2
yeah.
weeks. Glendale.
2 weeks. So, Ken Roxon, 4th place there.
I'm gonna eat a little more crow.
Him and Coop got a little chippy there for
I've never.
Not
so
chippy.
I was watching it and I had when he ran in on Coop there and hit him
after
with
the
fender,
finish?
Yeah, I had flashbacks of that arm going in that back wheel, dude.
Dude, we were talking about this last week. Like, bro,
Hey, can we talk about
getting
late
a little
kit, too?
aggressive? I like it.
The black and gold on the yellow Suzuki. I thought that was a
The
late
gear?
kit. Yeah.
Ooh, that it was a late kit.
I thought it was a late kit.
Yep, that
anyway,
was good. That was good.
Anyway, but yeah, Kenny's another one that's right there that I'm like, man, he could win one of these fucking things so easy.
Well, let's go to Glendale.
he could have
Yeah.
Triple Crown,
I
man.
think Kenny's best shot at winning a race is a track like Glendale where he can really carry his momentum.
Yeah. If it's a
If it's a turn down and
Yeah.
he's
one-line racetrack, Ken can get a start.
I mean, yeah, dude,
make
the-
two moves
the-
and be gone.
I told Wyman this. The track, in my opinion, last night was technical, but it was only technical because it was so basic. Like
stadium's
how
small.
consistent you had to be lap after lap. Because last night, like if you messed up just a little bit, 3/10 right there.
Yeah.
Because we even saw it on a couple of the heaters during qualifying. Like we're watching the stupid thing down at the bottom, and all of a sudden they're green. Somebody pivots out of a corner too hard. The back end comes around on them. 7/10.
God, I like those splits that we get to see. And did you guys see the new thing that they post? Like, I don't know, maybe it's like Wednesday or something, where it tells who was fastest in the main in what sector.
oh yeah, that was
Oh, yeah.
cool.
That was cool. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff. So we're getting some good stuff. I do like it.
Yeah.
Before I rant in the in the halftime report, I'll give praise
Give some
here.
credit.
Kenny-
but no, Kenny.
I think he gets a couple heat race wins. I don't know about mains though, man.
I mean, you take Jet out of the equation, it's no different than 2022 or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah,
good point.
2019.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, he shows up when the lights come on, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, because he don't give a shit during practice anymore at this point.
Nope.
God, dude, it's
He
such a
does
weird
not
thing too,
care.
man. Because like I remember
He
for
used to
such a
be
long
so
time,
fast.
Kenny was kind of like Chase was for a long time. He wanted to be on top of the board. It was a confidence boost for him.
Yep.
Do you think Chase and Jet and those guys, since they're like literally putting their lives on the line in qualifying, have some kind of bonus?
I don't know.
I don't think with Eli, but Jet and Chase, it wouldn't surprise me.
If they got a
Probably
bonus in their
Jet.
contract.
If anybody, Jet. If anybody, just because he did it for so much, it was kind
Yeah.
of like we always used to like joke around with AC that year in 2020, where
Yeah.
he was on top of the board, and then it was like, dude, you got to have like a bonus because you're laying it all out the whole
I
entire
wonder if
time.
AC had one. He would probably tell.
I don't remember what he
But
said.
how wild though
Let's-
was it?
Let's tweet at him.
How
Let's see.
wild
you
was
go.
it though after that with the first qualifier, and then at one point, 945, 946, 947. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that.
Dude.
What the hell?
Isaac was screenshotting it and sending it to me. He's like, "This is ridiculous."
I
I'm
don't
like,
know if I've ever
Literally,
seen that.
It was 9, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
or
I don't know if I've
it
ever
was
seen that
wild.
before. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, shout out Kellen Brower on this one as well, but he also made a point, like, look at the top 4 and look what numbers they're running. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Bro, I thought about that last night when we had Coop,
Like, the
Eli,
best guys
and Jet
are literally up front.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool. All right, so Hunter Lawrence 5th. Not bad for being sick.
I think
They must have made that bike a little bit better.
Well, I said this last week. I think that I think his body, dude. I think he's got some shit going on behind the scenes. Not just being sick this week. I think that
I mean, he crashed last week.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really know till
He just
after
doesn't.
we did the show.
He just doesn't look good. Like he doesn't when you see him, he physically doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he has a ton of energy on the bike.
Yeah, I don't know. He seemed pretty okay with last week. He's like, dude, literally, if I wouldn't have had that crash, I probably would have been 6th, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I'm like, all right. And his dad said the same thing. And his dad was like, dude, I don't know why you kept trying to hammer that line that you did, but I watched that crash come because like what you were doing was bound to happen.
So I want to. I don't know if you want to call this sidetracking or not, but like it has something to do with what you just said. But it's not directed towards Hunter. It's just directed towards anybody racing at a high level.
Sure.
So obviously we all hear that all the time. Like, yeah, man, if I wouldn't have crashed, I would have done this, wouldn't have done that. Well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm asking you guys for this, but that was my example. Do you guys ever sometimes though hear that shit? Because we all hear it like all the time. You ever guys hear that shit sometimes though, and it kind of irk you a little bit because you kind of go, well, yeah, no shit, if you wouldn't have done, but you did.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
I understand. I don't know.
It's just a weird thing to say because it's like, yeah, if I wouldn't have done this, wouldn't do that. Yeah, you're probably right, but here's the thing: you did do it, so you can't really say, because it's over with. Like you,
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't bother me that much because I say the same thing when I come off the track. I don't know about you, Cole, but like when I come off the track, I'm constantly like, man, if I wouldn't have done that and that right there, all of a sudden I'm 30 seconds better and I'm.
But I've just seen so many people
Yeah,
I've seen so many people that like sometimes people do it for confidence because they're like, oh yeah, I had the pace to do this. Seen it a fuck ton with amateurs at Loretta's, man. I'd always be hearing people like you come through after the 10 after getting top 10 and be like, yeah, if I did, but it's like, dude, you did. And then I would see guys literally just like focus on that so much. Like, oh, if I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done this. So they're always thinking like, man, if I just replicate that, that's over with. That's not going to happen again. Like that part of the race is over and done now. So you got to move off that. I've just seen so many guys like.
Isn't it like analyzing what you did though?
But it is analyzing. But then their problem is that they would go so far the other way. They would start thinking they're like, man, now I just don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. But what are you doing to fix that? And all they would think about is if I just don't do this, put this in myself. But what are you going to do to fix it?
Yeah.
But they're in their minds, they're just thinking, just don't do that.
Yeah.
But why did you do it? And I've just seen so many guys do that. So, like, sometimes when I hear guys say that, and I know it's just a natural response, sometimes it bugs me a little bit because it's like, okay, yeah, you're probably right, but you did do it.
I mean, I didn't go back and look at to where Hunter was running last week when he crashed, but
He was inside the top 10. He was
but
like,
if he was,
yeah.
and it's like you crash. It's like, okay, well, if you don't go down, then yeah, you probably keep running the same pace you are with the guys around you, and you probably end up in that spot. So
I just think when people say that out loud, I think that it doesn't make a difference because it's like, well, you didn't. Okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost like they say it for a soundbite.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if you want to call that a rant. Not really a rant. I just hear guys say that shit all the time.
Holster code reload rant.
Yeah. But no, I think he obviously looked a lot better, but I think physically he's got some shit going on. Not just being
we'll
sick.
see. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't really heard anything. But
You still think he can get on the box consistently at this point? Because I don't know.
Yeah, because I think again, same thing with Jay. I think they'll close the window of that bike, and when they do,
but you think he's better than Eli, Chase, and Coop?
No.
I think
even
I
Kenny?
think he's on a level with Coop, like speed wise.
It depends on if all cylinders are firing.
Yeah.
Because I think some nights he's firing on 6 and.
I feel
Got a couple cylinders out.
I
Just
feel
pull
like
fuel through it.
I feel like he's kind of like Dunge, like he's a diesel and he builds. So
Mm-hmm.
like as we go further into the season,
He builds
it'll
until it
get
drops
better,
a valve or something.
and then
Builds till it explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you tweet at AC?
Yeah, but I'm also.
Did he tweet us back?
I got
boy.
on Twitter or X or whatever, got distracted.
Oh boy.
Shocking.
Here we go.
Because-
no surprise here. Look at some.
We're going
porn
off
or
on
what?
some weird stuff right
There
now.
is porn on X. It's weird.
I know.
So the
I don't wanna
Trump
talk
coin,
about it.
went astronomical, the meme coin.
Yeah, of course it did. This is gonna be like the Hawk.
Okay, you
Tua,
saw it, right?
and she's a cunt.
They literally just like 10 minutes ago during the inauguration or whatever launched a Melania coin. So if you missed out on the
not happening yet. It's tomorrow
or whatever, if you missed out on the Trump coin, now they launched a Melania coin. So
Are they going to launch a
and
Baron?
now I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, maybe I can double X my money.
Are they going to
quick.
launch a Baron and Kai Trump coin too while they're
I
at
don't
it?
know. Anyway,
Maybe.
let's continue here. So Sexton,
Wait, hang on.
Oh,
Not
go.
financial advice, but would you mess with that kind of stuff or just let it be?
I just let it be.
Dave Portnoy made $1 million in 12 hours.
Well, that's nice for him, but he can also afford to lose $1 million, and I cannot.
Yeah,
so
that's kinda
I'm out.
wrong.
You don't even have $1 million.
Yeah, I'm buying whole guy.
Okay.
All right, anyways.
Anyways,
So it was after Hunter.
Sexton 6th.
Yep.
That was a good ride to come back
Yeah.
after that, after gooning out in that corner. Looked like me.
Again, robbed of a hell of a race because he was right in there in the mix with those two guys.
Dude,
I just can't get over his fucking...
but he didn't tuck the front this time, though.
Well,
Wasn't
not
really tucking
that.
the front.
Dude, that bike carves. That bike looked really good.
Well, the fact that he
They've
even
got
tried
that
to go that
worked
far to the
out.
inside in the pack, like, shows
Yeah.
that he is comfortable in that front end.
Yeah, watching the heat race, just the way, that turn that Ricky was talking about all night. Like, oh, that corner, I'm telling you.
Okay, which one are you guys talking about? Which 90? Because there's so many.
The
of them.
triple. The big triple where
Before
Chase
the
almost got
triple?
landed on.
Before the
one
triple.
landing.
Oh, and that little off camber where Jet was jumping over the off camber before the other triple. Okay, so you come down the
Yeah,
far
yeah,
line
yeah.
into the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
hand.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about that
Before
one.
that, like, weird little step.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I watched that bike in the heat. He landed it in there, and it just stuck. And
Dude.
then the way he was just like carving through those bowl turns by the
Dude, I look at
mechanics area.
I look at the right-handed 90 before the triple, like the triple, before you come across
Yeah,
the start.
yeah.
How he was literally turning inwards and basically coming across in the middle of that straightaway. Last year, there's no fucking way he would have done that without
dude,
pushing
he
the
looked
front end.
very, very comfortable on that bike.
But when he would get in and get the bike leaned over, like how much commitment he had to knowing that front end was going to stick all the way through with no rut forming right there. Just, I don't know, man. And he got into it really early. Because a lot of guys, like, you would think, like, oh, you got a wide transition to the inside. You could just kind of, like, square it off and straighten out. But he started doing it, like, right at the qualifier, at the very first one. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, he's making up so much time there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how we were kind of shitting on Kier and his dad and all that on setting up a bike. I don't know who they brought into their corner or whatever they did, but they got that thing.
Yeah, that's better. It's better.
I mean, dude.
Oh,
and
it's good.
He, once again, man, like, 2023 qualifying chase is back.
Speed's there.
back, dude. Oh,
And
speed,
that's
yeah.
a confidence thing for him too.
Yeah,
Speed's-
100%.
So, no, it just sucks that he went down and then that's what happened. But that's part of racing. That's what happens when you get a shit start.
Yep.
But I guess the start really wasn't that shitty. He was like fourth
No.
or fifth.
Do you guys think at any point though, do we actually get to see those three go at it?
Yeah.
Or do you?
We're
do you,
gonna get that.
We're getting it next
Yeah.
weekend.
You think? Because like we talk about this all the time, and I think we're gonna have some insane battles for first and second.
No,
but like,
there's-
how often do we ever really get those three like freight
There-
training from
there
the
is-
When's a triple crown?
There is gonna
Glendale, 2 weeks.
be a point we're gonna have the
We're gonna
number
have it.
1, 2, 3, and 4 battling.
All right, so
And I'm gonna go Ricky here, and the reason that I say that is those three guys are durable. They're gonna be there.
Is this going to be like a Ricky, Stu, Chad thing the whole entire season?
Yeah,
I
that'd
mean,
be
we talk
so
about
sick.
Coop and Kenny,
Oh my
but like,
God.
I think we
Yeah.
might get to a point where it's like a Stu, Chad, Ricky. And I don't know what
but
season.
even though it was Stu, Chad, and Ricky, Chad was always distant third. I think these guys. These guys are all right there.
Yeah.
Man, the crazy thing is like, what do you? What the fuck? You stop
Squeezing my
Stop doing that.
What's wrong?
Like it'd be James, Ricky, Chad, and,
Stop doing that.
and Chad would get a win if there's a boat in the middle of Dallas.
Stop.
Whoa, bro.
Stop. All right.
Up.
Here, fidget with that.
That's worse.
Somebody on Facebook Marketplace told me anything could be a dildo if you use your imagination.
No, that's a butt plug.
Wow, you guys.
The thing that scares the thing
Great
that
radio.
scares me a little bit though with those three at this point though is if they are 1, 2, 3, like the level that those three are going to go to.
Oh,
You guys
God.
are rated R, man.
This is terrible. I don't know what the fuck. I've been doing this all night.
I
dude.
know, but I
It's
just
li-
not noticed out of my peripherals.
Just keep the kids off the show. Don't
All
let them
right.
watch.
Dude, though, his lack of situational awareness rolling triples fucking shocks me.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, it's because he used to work with Stu, and Stu had no race IQ.
I mean, it's just like last night he rolls right under fucking what's his nuts. Then you go back to Vegas SMX and he gets fucking landed on because he's hooking a right.
Bro, this is like a Stu
And I'm
Travis
just like,
Preston
bro, what are
06
you
thing.
doing?
Well, here's what Chase needs to prove to me in Supercross, that is. He proved it to me outdoors, but most of his Supercross wins come on the heels of just... Come on the heels. Come on.
Sometimes.
Yeah, come on the heels.
Easy. Come on the heels of getting a start and just having a little bit of chaos behind him, and then he's just gone. I don't know if I've ever seen him get a win where he comes through the pack. And
Supercross.
In Supercross.
Haven't seen
Supercross,
him
because we
beat-
obviously saw it all outdoors. pretty much.
Can you guys think of a time? Or am I on the right track with that?
Justin's better at this shit than me, though.
I mean, and that's
2023,
I'm
no.
week by week.
That's where my his Supercross race IQ concerns me a little bit. Like, I think he just knows how to get out front and go. Mm-hmm. Like, if he's back behind, a guy like Jet or Eli or whatever, is he gonna be able to figure them out in a Supercross setting?
I think he's just going to get to the point that he's just going to take him out.
I mean, outdoors. I mean, he figured out how to beat and pass Eli. Did he not? Or
everybody. I mean, he did it to everybody last year. But yeah, in 2022. I mean,
I mean, Supercross, he needs to prove that to me. That's where I'm at with it. I want to see him win a race without having chaos happening behind him, and he just kind of rides off to the sunset.
I mean,
Fair.
yeah, I agree. But I mean, however you got to
Fair.
win races, man, because his starts have been pretty good to this point. So if he keeps getting good starts, outside of the bonker shit that happened last night in the main, he might just never have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen it enough with Eli and Jet, but
God, I'm so bummed he crashed because he would have came through the pack with those guys, and all three of them would have passed Cooper Webb in the same corner.
I think Glendale is gonna be wild though. I think Glendale is gonna be a little gnarly.
Probably.
Yeah, as long as these boys stay healthy, knock on wood.
All right. Stu is 7th. Okay. Just
That's
happy
my-
to be here.
Rocky Mountain
Happy
Fantasy.
to not be on the ground this week.
Happen to not
He will
almost break my arm.
Felt like he was in A1 here because he didn't really get to get going last week. So
Fun fact, he's been the RM Fantasy wild card 2 weeks in a row.
that's fucking awesome.
I picked him this week. Thank you.
Barsha 8th.
Just kind of doing Barsha things.
Just Barshawn.
Okay.
When's the last time you seen the Baker's Factory go 7 and 8?
Last
A
year.
lot the last few years.
I was going to say, every year that he hasn't had a top guy because he bought him.
Or be like a
Yeah.
1-9, and then be like RV and Jake Weimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lit kit for Stu, by the way. That I like that gear.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Dylon, 9th.
Better.
Better.
Hey,
good in the heat race, too.
That heat race was feisty. I was
He,
like, he's kind of alive here.
And I honestly, there was a point where he was battling back and forth with Malcolm, and I'm just like, Dylan's going to take him out. He's not going to mean to. He's going to get sketch as fucking the whoops, and he's
Yep.
going to take them both out.
Yep.
And to my pleasant surprise, he did not do it.
Yeah. Where you at on the gold wheels?
I hate him. I
Love
know
it.
everybody. I love throwback shit, especially the '80s Honda factory bikes. I hate gold wheels in general.
Love it.
I hate it.
Yeah. How about yellow on the Suzuki? That's different.
That's different.
Matches your sweatshirt.
Yes. No. Close.
All right. Savachi, 10th.
Just good. Fine.
Hey, that's better than last.
Better.
Good hate race. Good
Better
heat
than
race.
cleaning the Beta Benny out.
I think everybody's going to clean out Benny at some point this year.
was funny. Beta on their actual Instagram page.
Yes.
They posted a video of the throttle tube and said Joey Savachi or
Was
whatever.
here.
And Joey obviously had it sent to him.
Yeah.
And said, "Are you going to mail it to me or deliver it to me in person?"
That's fucking awesome. Good old Joey. Justin Cooper, 11th.
That was a little bit of an off night for him, in my opinion.
Think he flew private or?
I don't know. I already mentioned it though, but him hitting that quad's impressive.
Didn't know that
Nobody
either.
else
Real
did that.
impressive.
Like
I
I
didn't
was
know
wondering
that
if
either.
somebody was going to do it,
Yes,
and
me
he
also.
wasn't the guy that I thought was going to do it.
I'll tell you, it was impressive watching those dudes roll that inside in the sand and then hit that pocket enough to jump over that first corner
That
there.
looked like such a fun jump.
It
though,
looked
sitting
fun,
there.
but I'm like, man, dude, you have to be going so fast in that sand and then literally just peg it.
I think
to
that's why
fucking do
everybody
it.
started going left.
450, dude.
I think that's
Yeah.
why everybody started going left though, because you could hang the front wheel over and it would just drive into the pocket
Yeah.
instead of bouncing you into the face.
Prado, 12th.
Just
Who he is.
Just who-
I
this
think
is
this
who
is
he
is?
I think this is
No,
who he
Is
is.
For
this
this-
who he is?
for West Coast. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't. Like I said, I think he's gonna get better as the East Coast, but I don't.
Lit kit.
I don't.
Alright.
The lit,
Lit
kit.
Kit Award.
Fucking lit
just-
kit, bro. What are you doing?
No, I'd put that away.
Nope.
Who you doing?
What happened? What happened to this guy?
Who?
Jason Anderson.
Look,
Oh,
I'll
what
tell you-
one?
13th.
Look,
Oh,
I
I
stand
don't
by
know.
this. I've said it
was
over
like-
and over again. It hurts my heart to see Jason Anderson sucking because I like the guy.
Because your paycheck says
No, it has
Kawasaki.
nothing to do with that.
Well, your backpack says otherwise.
well,
but
has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. I got a
Alpine
Dirt
Star.
Studio shirt
I
on.
was that Alpine Star shirt.
What is that?
It's a fucking heater, bro.
I don't know,
Just let
man.
it roll.
Cole's always been kind of on the Ando train.
I mean, I just like the guy because he's creative. Like, he's into stuff. Like, if I were to hang out with somebody, I would hang out with the guy, I feel like.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then that's kind of why I
You
like
listen
him.
to EDM music?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he has an EDM track that he actually made. Did you know that?
No.
It's called, it's on SoundCloud. So if you're into EDM music, it's on SoundCloud, and it's called, I don't know. It's under El Hombre, though, but it's a mix he made when he was dating that little EDM girl for a little while. But it's actually pretty good, dude. So, I think it's called Ambient Volume 1. Go listen to it. But if I ever saw him, I'd be like, hey, when's Ambient Volume 2 coming out? But,
I feel like Ando would have been the perfect person to grow up racing in the 90s.
Oh, 100%. But
Yeah.
Ando, like, I'd still stand by this, and I've said it a few times, is Jason Anderson died when Team Fried died. Like, OG Team Fried.
Yeah.
Like, ever since that 2022 season, he had Tom
That was the
Dornay, had all the boys there, had whoever the other guy was, and vibes were high at the races. They were laughing, they were having a good time, like making cool videos, making cool shit, which he thrives off of. I mean, look at the gear and all that kind of stuff that he does.
Yep.
And he doesn't have that outlet anymore. And
You're right.
I'm telling you, dude.
You're right. I don't say this at all. Justin can attest to this. You're right. You're
I can't
fucking
tell if
wrong
you-
about Jet, but you're right about Jason
I can't
Anderson.
tell if he's being a smartass.
No,
or
he's being
not.
serious.
No, I am.
He's being legit.
I'll
Yeah.
just go beat off
You
your
can
cup
look him
more.
in the eyes and know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get
Okay.
Can you look me in the eyes?
Look in my eyes.
Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. That's weird that you're stroking that.
It's that reminded me of that episode of Fantasy Factory back in the day where they go see the gazer. They just gaze into that guy's
This
eyes.
is definitely how we get off topic.
This is way how we get off topic.
there's some gazing going on here, but
Glazing?
Gazing.
gazing, but
Gazing with a Y.
definitely not a good look for a guy that wants to get his contract renewed.
Yeah, not at all.
Because he was kind of in eighth, and I don't know if he went down, just started sucking. But
I haven't heard anything yet, so I don't know.
I almost feel like he just got that, and he does this. He gets that I don't give a shit attitude and just gives up.
Maybe try to hit that quad into the corner in fourth gear like Jay Coop was.
Dude, I see him just that shifter, that poor shifter,
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God.
that poor shifter. But
All right. Justin Hill, 14th. Rough night. Vince Freeze, 15th.
hey, can we talk about Vince in the main with Eli and Jet?
Not getting out of the way.
You missed this?
Not getting out of the way.
Yes, you missed Eli almost dying.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Not getting out of the way. Vince
Like,
Freeze.
what the hell?
Impossible for him to not be involved.
He
in
almost
fucking
got
something.
smacked with the blue flags. He was on an island by himself. 15th is a good ride for Vince. Good fucking rider. And
He's a good effing rider.
Good fucking rider.
Good
dude,
effing rider.
and then I don't know if a lot of people didn't catch it because they don't stick around for like the post race show, but it shows Jet and Eli like going into the tunnel, like kind of talking to each other, and Eli just goes, "I don't know what the hell was he doing." So obviously they were talking about Vince because Vince held Jet up as well. Like,
Yeah, he held both of them up.
It's just kind of what Vince does.
But one other thing on top of that, which kind of proves Eli's fitness or whatever, he heart rate through the roof there, panic mode, and still held it together.
Yep.
So
All
come
right.
on, Vince.
Benny,
Fuck
16th. Shane, 17th.
Shane Sins. Hey, I watched one of his vlogs for the first time. You watch those?
No. Is it good?
Not bad. I mean, he's kind of a Manila guy.
I heard he made like 250K in Australia last year,
Good for him.
No, that's great.
which is why he signed with this team. 'Cause
Shane's
he
a good
didn't
dude.
want to change teams.
What about
Shit.
the World Supercross thing?
Maybe
How
it
mu-
was between the two of them.
Either way. Either way.
So he's kind of paying for his own deal, or
No, that's how much he made riding for that quad lock Honda team. That's why, because he had an offer to go to what is it, Mad Parts Cowie or whatever
Yeah,
for
he was
Supercross.
riding for them in outdoors.
Yeah, and he literally was like, no, I don't want to change teams. So that's why he did, because he's only on like a 6 or 7 race deal right now, unless they can find some funding in Supercross here. But he wants to go back and do that stuff because he made so much money doing it.
yeah,
Good
I
for
mean,
him.
for him too, like. We always kind of give him some shit, like, because he says the Mud Rider thing gets a bunch of confidence and all that kind of thing. But
I'm ready to go, baby.
But, dude, he looked phenomenal in those races. Obviously, he was on a 250, but he looked like McGrath in '96. But where does he go if he's on a comfortable program, and where can he be?
yeah.
And by the way, that setup looks good. I like the look of that team a lot.
Yeah.
I think the rules should change. He should be able to ride 250s in Supercross.
I'm with you. I'm
me
with you.
too. Colt Nichols actually made the main. Surprise, surprise.
He
18th.
does not look comfy on that.
Not at all. I
No, I
think
agree.
that's karma getting him, to be honest with you. After that whole, after the whole McElrath thing, getting booted because they signed him type deal. I think this is karma biting him in the ass here, to be honest with you.
I honestly think that just wrist is always going to be fucked.
Well, like
Well,
we think
you better
too.
head on over to his house with some sage and just smoke it out.
I pray a lot. I don't use.
Okay.
I'm
All I
not
know
a
is I don't know
witch or
about that
wizard. I
Cruella
pray.
DeVille Liette gear. Fucking 101 Dalmatians spotted
You
gear.
didn't like that? That yellow spotted
Nah,
stuff? I thought it was okay.
Leah always does. There's always at least one piece of gear in their line that goes back to like South African heritage. So
Yeah.
it's like a cheetah. is
Got
what it's
it.
supposed to be.
Okay.
I'm just
that
saying,
makes
I think
sense.
the gear is odd.
Oldenburg 19th.
Good for Oldenburg, man.
Yeah,
Just
on
getting
the
in main.
pizza.
Quietly, and both of them on the beta.
Beta.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was running 10.
I don't know.
He
was
was a
running
really
tire.
good qualifying.
Yeah,
in
he was like
A1.
10th in qualifying or
Yeah.
something.
Chiz 20th. Our boy-
Chiz just like getting rid of those demons on the gate. You
Yeah.
see that?
Bro,
Yeah, he's
okay,
always
so
doing
it's
that.
funny. Okay, so since we're at the end, I wanted to touch on this. It's funny that you bring that up though, where he goes like this, because for whatever reason, I was looking back through like the timeline of X, and you had posted on this the video of Chiz going like this, and you just like captioned it out. What?
On my timeline?
Yeah, no, like the show's X timeline, and you
Yeah,
put
that's
one,
ours.
Yeah,
That's
but
me.
You, yeah, well, so you put a video
That's
of
me.
that up.
I do that.
You put a video of that up, and you just go what as the caption, and then they like just I had that in front of Brain, and then they just happened to pan it to him, and I'm like, wow,
Here it
like,
comes.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yep.
And he's just going like this, and I'm like,
Emily was watching it. Was like, is that guy tweaking?
Yes.
And I was like, no, he's visualizing the first three corners. And then they did the LCQ, and he was in second. And I was like, see, he visualized it.
the funny thing though is when he does that with his arm, it's always like dead center on the bars, and he's just like.
It's goofy, but it works.
But yeah,
man.
I mean, do whatever you got to do. Like Vince does the whole thing where he literally just hits the steering
So
stop
what-
every time.
So what do you think of the X feed? A little out there?
mean, it's
Good?
fine.
Bad?
Whatever,
Give me some
Were you
feedback.
out there lurking on X now?
I just look at it sometimes.
Oh,
I look
he's
at it-
lurking.
I look at it
This
sometimes.
is how he knows there's so much porn on there.
Yeah, exactly.
My man got off Pornhub, got on X.
Yeah, I
There he
mean,
is.
no Pornhub. I mean, I think it looks fine. It's good.
Oh, cool. Interact with it sometime.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Do you have an account?
No,
Oh,
You liar.
you got an Instagram account?
no.
He's got a burner for sure.
Facebook?
Although Instagram has gotten to the point where you
Bumble,
wouldn't have to have
Facebook dating?
you wouldn't have to have an account and you could look at stuff, and now they're making it where like you can't even watch videos anymore without having an
Well,
account.
you better make a burner,
Better make
buddy.
a burner,
Something.
buddy.
Kind of like Wyman does, has a burner on YouTube.
No, it was real.
No,
it
it was
actually had his
Wyman.
name.
No.
It was
Yeah,
Wyman.
we figured out that it is actually Wyman does actually have an account. But
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, Moran's 21st and AP DNF for 22nd.
Road back to the pits pretty early.
Yeah,
Wheels
how
are
you guys
coming
feel
off.
on that?
This is not a great start.
Wheels are coming off right now.
The
Yep.
wheels are coming off the bus.
Coming on some buses.
The renewal of that contract's not looking
Well,
well.
good thing he's gonna go hang out in the woods,
So where would he go?
retire,
GNCC.
hair scrambles.
I'm not
You
sure.
think he just gets out of it? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Where does he go?
I don't know because that KTM factory squad, as far as the off-road program, is just pretty much full at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of bad dudes in that program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Worx. Just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this kind of content and you want to see the full show, it's linked right here. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss an update, you never miss a show, a live stream, a bike build, or anything that we're doing, make sure to hit that subscribe button there and make sure to turn on notifications with the bell. If you want to join our members area to help support the show, that's greatly appreciated too. And you can check us recording things live that other people in the general public don't get to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.